Hey, hey, hey. Alright, guys, we ready? Alright, so let's get to it. I was supposed to make this video a while back, but I've been super busy. A lot of personal stuff going on. So, yeah, apologize for that, but, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes we get wrapped up in things. So, today we're going to talk about that Chief Ladiga to Silver Comet Trail and everything that you need to know about it. There's a lot to go over, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. It's been extremely hot here, like 96 degrees. I rode it in 80, and there's enough shade where it's comfortable, but I wouldn't try it in no 96, man. You're going to have a hydration pack. It is miserable out there, so we'll need to get past this month, and then maybe we can set up a date. So there is some sketchy stuff we need to talk about. So let's go ahead and get down to it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and just talk about where it starts at. It starts in Weaver, actually. Very shocked there. I thought it was in Jacksonville. But let's see here. One sec. Let me bring this up. So here's our map here. It actually starts in Weaver. Weaver is really cool. Lots of shade. But the problem is when I rode it that day, it just rained. And there were all these little tree seeds everywhere. And it got in my fender and just... And I got tired of it, so I took the fender off. And I immediately stopped and put it back on because that stuff was getting all over my legs. I definitely would ride this with a fender. There are some wet spots on this trail, just a few. I wouldn't ride. It's going to spit anything and everything up underneath you. But this was a really good ride. It was early in the morning. I saw lots of people just walking for exercise, some bikers. I seen this old guy on a skateboard. I saw him 2 or 3 times on this trail through me just, checking it out over the span of the last month. And that guy pushes that skateboard up and down that trail. He's probably in his 60s. It's pretty gravy. So, yeah, basically this is the trail. We're going to talk about to where we get to Piedmont, and then I'll talk about from Piedmont on to the first city past Georgia line, which is Cedartown. From Piedmont to Cedartown, that's where it's going to be the hardest part of this trail. Very sketchy. I found one charging port, and we'll get into that in just a minute. So, let's get back to it. There are a lot of things that you need consideration. There's 3 bathrooms. When you start in Weaver, there is a bathroom right there at the first of the park. Now, they're building 9 more miles onto this trail, but it's not open yet. So, but there is a bathroom. Porta potties, I didn't look in them. I don't know how clean they are. But yeah, I mean, they're about 3 until you start leaving Jacksonville, and then you're got no bathroom until Piedmont, which is not a long ride. So let's go ahead and talk about this. The trail is asphalt. Every bad spot on this trail, they have actually marked with spray paint. A lot of the students and other people that ride bikes have really been good about spray painting this situation. Any bump. Now, this is probably not a big deal for a biker that has shocks, but for a one wheel, it's a bad situation because what happens is the roots have made the asphalt come into a peak, and that makes a bonk for us. And I know that don't seem much, but there's a lot of them. Like, this trail is pretty bad shape. I'll give you a video and I'll show you in just a second. So the problem is, I rode this trail to Piedmont and then back. You're not going to be able to do more than 10 to 12 miles an hour on this track, and I'll tell you why. When I was coming back, I was trying to get home in time to eat with my folks. They cook every Sunday. I was doing 17, bonk, getting there, bonk, 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 bonk. The next thing I know, my knees were throbbing. I've never hurt that bad in my life. And then you got a whole freaking trail to ride after this, so don't. You're not going to be able to do more than 10 to 12 miles an hour, and you're going to have to look. But, hey, you need to stop and check out the scenery anyways. Faster acceleration kills more batteries, so just, not. And I'll give you an indication of how bad it was. Here's a good video. It said very rough. And as soon as you see the sign, they spray painted every bump, and there's no way to avoid it. And there's a lot of places here on the trail that are like this, and you really need to be careful. Oh man, it's so painful on the knees. So that's good that they painted it. I would say about 90% of the trails spray painted. So you still need to watch. The majority is painted, but you still could catch you one off guard. And if you're not paying attention, or you're a new rider, or not that much experience, you may fall on your ass. So other than that, it's really cool. Weaver's got a lot of shade, and when you get into Jacksonville, opens up a little bit. Lots of sun, a lot of benches to sit down, a lot of cornfields, a lot of just farms. And, you got to watch out for these crosswalks. So these crosswalks here, people are really good about watching, but you can't rely on that, because you need to look both ways before you cross that thing, or you might be pavement. So just be careful. There's a lot of these crosswalks. You're going to have to watch out for them. Pretty much when you get down to this, there's a lot of off trails, in the Jacksonville area. So I took a lot of these off trails. I'm going to show you one here. This was actually a park. There were people eating, there were people in the water. There's a lot of side trails, and I took all these side trails and rode from Weaver to Piedmont, and Piedmont's the first charging station. You should be able to make that with a stop battery. It's about 20 miles. It was really neat. I took all these little side trails. I was looking for charging ports is what I was looking for. Lots of places. I mapped them all out on the Onewheeling app. So every charging port, and I put a little detail, description of where they're at. They're still doing things. I don't know what they're building here. If they're going to build a park, or they're going to build, a baseball field, I don't know, but they're still adding on to this trail. It's really pretty, but yeah, here's a guy that I come up that I think I scared to death. He was just, I guess he was out hiking or walking, and he just took a break underneath the shade, and I think I scared him when I kept rolling by him. That's another thing. You need to be courteous and kind. We do not need to get thrown out of these trails. Do not go blazing down there and scaring people, because there are signs everywhere that says no motor vehicles. Now, I know they don't really retain to us, because they do allow e-bikes. That's what allows us on this trail. But if you ruin this, it will not take long for the news to get around, and they will ban us from this trail. So be courteous and kind. Don't scare people. Don't drive reckless. Have a good time. Check out nature. That's the whole point of this. So just be very careful not to upset anybody. Everybody was really cool with me on the trail. You'll run across those bikers that are hardcore, that basically just, they're basically trying to make a time. And that's cool too. Most everybody will nod and wave. You'll see in just a second that I come up on the end of this little side trail, and there's family playing in the water with their dog. It's just really cool. Everybody loves this trail. Everybody, gets what they need from it, and everybody has a good time. So, just be courteous and kind, guys. And then you'll see me get back on the main trail, and you'll see a lot of these bridges. So the trail's pretty much flat. you will get across. Here's another bridge. You'll get another cross. These bridges have a little incline, a little downcline, but not enough to charge the battery. When you get to Cedar Town, you'll have a little bit up and downhill, but it's not enough to charge. So it's pretty easy. You know, nothing spectacular as difficulty. Anyone that's got 100 miles, 150 miles on their belt, they could do this. They just need to really take it slow because, like I said, you saw the road. It's in pretty bad shape, very bad shape. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens when you get to the Georgia line. So this is what, okay, well, let's first talk about Piedmont. So Piedmont's going to be the first place that you're going to stop and charge. You're going to ride to Weaver. And right before you get actually to Piedmont, there is another side trail that takes you to a park. It's in the Onewheeling app. I mapped it. There's a pavilion with benches and tables where you can sit there and lay down and rest. And there is two charging ports right there underneath that pavilion. You just have to flip the breaker on to give them power. I put that all in the app. It's, you know, should be able to find it. So, yeah, so Piedmont, that's where I would stop and eat and charge up. You need a full charge because what's coming up ahead is no man's land. No charging ports. I found one. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to be pushing on a stock battery. It's from Piedmont all the way across the Georgia line. I mean, Cedar Town's your next stop. I found one charging station. We're going to get in that right now. So let me bring my map up. So here's Piedmont. Stop. There's a lot of cool places to eat. We'll circle back to that in just a little bit. Make sure you're top charge because it's going to be rough. There's my checkpoint. And there's Chief Ladiga Trail. Let's zoom in a little bit. A little more so you can actually see it because you got to zoom in to be able to see it on the map. I like to do checkpoints. This is after you get outside of Piedmont. So beautiful places, man. A lot of cool bridges. A lot more water and rivers on this side. And then when you get over to Georgia, there's not as much. So you're going to see. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the Georgia state line. Okay. Keep in mind, that's my checkpoint over there, and then there's the Georgia line. Okay, so this is going to be, I think, 10 to 12 miles. You should be able to cover that easy, but here's where it gets crazy. I checked out these 3 zones. I found a fire department that looked like it's abandoned, no power. And it would have been awesome because there is this road that goes straight into the dang trail, and it would have been easy. I mean, it was weird. There's like a grill and everything out there, but there was no outside power. I mean, you might be able to beg them if someone's even there, but there wasn't nobody there the day I went over there. But if there was somebody there, you might be able to beg them for charging, but I doubt it. So I don't think this place is open anymore. So that was out. So then after the fire department, I have found a church. That would have been so easy, man. You would have just rode right down that road. There's the Silver Comet Trail. It's, let me zoom out a little bit. I hate that it takes away the trail when you show the map. But my next point was a church. Had a graveyard, nice church, huge. No charging ports at all. We rode all the way around it, and I was like, dang it. So then my third option, you see, sorry about that. I didn't mean to drop that pen. So there's the first one, the second one, and I'm showing you these because if there's an incident and you're right next to the Piedmont Highway, you could probably put your thumb out there. But if there's a lot of houses, but these churches might be a place for you to stop and get some help. This Pine Church right here, no charging ports in it either. I was totally upset and didn't know what we were going to do. However, there's a checkpoint, and remember this road's name because there's a charger port. There is one across at the gas station, across the road, which is a little dangerous to cross, but you could cross it. And then there's another charge port, and we're gonna put a pin in it right here, and we're gonna look at this. Give me one sec. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you what's across the road. There's a gas station. You could probably charge there, but the guy that was working there didn't seem like the friendliest guy. So you may be able to charge there, may not. You know, I would buy something at both of these places. I would buy something before I charge so they don't get so mad at you. Here's my theory on all this is if you see an ice machine, there's a charge station. So let's talk about the store. The store across the street, you'll see a charge port right here behind the ice machine. Easy peasy. All right. Like I said, I don't know how he'll feel about it. And back here is where I got off the trail. But here's what we want to talk about. This is the one I think you need to buy something and you'll have time to sit and chill. And there's tons of stuff there. That's a Dollar General. All right. At this Dollar General, there's that road that you cross to get to the gas station back this way. There's an ice machine. Now it's right up against the wall. And you're going to be like, well, where's the plug? Right next to it. There's a plug. Do not unplug the ice machine, please. That's a good way to get us no charging stations. If you got friends going with you, bring a power strip, plug in, leave that ice machine going. This charging port is the only charging port that we have before you get to Cedartown. However, the problem with that is that's the only charging port I could find. I've been looking for weeks. It's only about 3.4 miles before you get to Cedartown. So if you got to stop, now I have a modified battery in my GT and my XR. I can get 26 miles on a range on my GT. I was able to make it. Now, I got all the way to Cedartown and I had to find a church, which we'll talk about in a minute, to charge back up, but I didn't think I was going to make it. I did not accelerate fast. So you're not that far from Cedartown. So this should be, you're going to have to really watch how you ride. Don't go too crazy. Don't accelerate too fast. You know, keep a good speed, and you should be able to make it. That was the only charge port I could find. Now, once you get here, there's all kind of charging ports. Now, I like this main street. This is where I say you should stop with your crew here, and I think that's what we're going to do. There's plenty of places to eat. Lots of places, different choices. Everybody could charge up. This is my checkpoint when we get into town. Also, there's a church there that we charged up the first time. Actually, I'm going to put a pin in it right now, and let's take a look at that. So, there is this church right here, World Headquarters. They are not open on Sundays. They're not that kind of church. Right beside the church, we found a charging port. Dad went with me, and he took his e-bike, and we both charged our batteries, which he gets way more mileage than me, but he just topped off a little bit. Right here next sign, right here. I don't know how they're going to feel about it. We were on a Sunday. We sat right here, drank our drinks, cooled off. No one said nothing to us about it. I'm sure there was cameras, but I don't know how they're going to feel if they're there. But I can tell you this, if you're there on a Sunday, you're going to be able to charge there because no one's over there. So just wanted to bring that up. That's where we charge. So there's, a charging port there. Churches are, a little bit more lenient about letting you charge. So when you come back here, you're going to see that after Cedartown, it's all go. It's just 12 miles to the next town. And then the next town's about the same distance. You got Rockmart next. So after this, it's okay. You'll be able to find a gas station or something that has power that's going to let you, maybe in that public library right there. So, here's the trail here. I mean, it's going to be pretty much easy after this point, city. So the longest stretch is the one we just talked about. That is a long stretch. The Dollar General, I mean, you've got it if you got an extended battery, but if you're riding stock, you're really going to be pushing it, and you need to be careful. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just telling you, I looked everywhere. There are no charge ports except for that Dollar General. So just be careful on that. So, yeah, that's pretty much the hardest part of this trail. It's not for the faint heart. So let me tell you a couple other things that we'll talk about. So there is this restaurant called Higher Grounds, like coffee grounds. And here's their menu here. There are a lot of places to eat in Piedmont. There's a Chinese restaurant. There's like this little kitchen place, a pizza restaurant. This place is the best place I think you should stop. because in this place they have a little bit of everything, but they have these couches for everybody to sit on, and there's charging ports right next to the couch. It's awesome. Quite a few charging ports in there. This is where the bikers go, actually. Bikers, this is the kind of the famous restaurant where all the bikers go, and here's another menu here. This is where the bikers go to cool down, charge up, and there's actually like this little small outside pavilion if you want to sit outside underneath, in the table, underneath, like a little umbrella shade. I mean, yeah, you can sit out there, and they have breakfast all the time, waffles. You can get waffles different ways. So that was pretty cool. So it has a lot to offer, but if you don't like it, that's fine. There's a lot of other restaurants. I haven't looked and see if you can charge in those, but I'm sure you could. A lot of desserts, get your sugar filled, get back on the road. You got to stop in Piedmont and recharge. You can make it from Weaver to Piedmont easy. It's not so bad. Fill up your stomach and you're bored, and then you're ready to head out. So, I shouldn't have closed that out. So that's the first rest stop. When you get to Cedar Town, like I said, you're going to probably eat, cool off, charge back up, because this is the long stretch. So let's take a look at a couple things. So going to the state lines, we ran into a few things I want you to be careful about. As you can see, all the seeds and everything on the road, but they were stripping trees around. And you need to be careful right here, because this is where the trucks cross to carry the trees. So just be aware. They're probably used to seeing people come by, but just watch for the trucks. The day we went by was Sunday. Nobody was out there. It was not a big deal, but I'm just saying, just be careful. You're a little ways from getting help. Cell phone coverage. Okay, I have Verizon. My dad has AT&T. When we rode this, it was a little weird. Verizon actually had some dead spots. AT&T had a couple of bars, one or two bars here and there. I don't know if he ever lost service, but you do get in some bad areas, so just be careful on this. So keeping watch of the truck. So back in Jacksonville, backing up a little bit, one of the second second bathroom to go to was right here at this cool little park. What I like about this park is you got all these kids having a good time playing in the creek, and there's pavilions. Now, first off, right here is your bathrooms. Okay, I didn't check how clean they were, but hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Right here are these pavilions, and there's two pavilions, and they all have plugs. I don't think from Weaver to Jacksonville you're going to need to charge back up, but if you need to, or some sort of situation, you can. Nice little park. I think you should check it out. There's the second pavilion there, and somebody's kid running. So this is a cool little park. I stopped for a little bit. It's got a dog park. Really neat little park. After this, you're out of Jacksonville. You're starting to head towards Piedmont. So this is the last place you're going to be able to use the restroom until you get to Piedmont. Piedmont's got a little grocery store. We stopped in there and got some drinks. It was really, it was pretty cool. So, yeah, the Georgia line's going to look like this. It is wide concrete. No bad places on the road. Unlike Alabama, I mean, you can see the difference when someone has a lottery. They definitely have more money to spend on the trails for sure. Look, that's someone's backyard, and they have a bridge going to it. I mean, how cool is that? But yeah, I mean, it was wild, man. You get over here, and it's like all concrete, not asphalt, no roots breaking up. You can actually hightail it at this point. If you want to run, when we rode to Cedar Town, when we rode back, we were doing like 17, 18 miles an hour. We only did like 12 down there. We got back so much quicker, and you can open it. We made so much better time. I mean, so yeah, you're good to go once you hit the line. Actually, I tell you what, I got a video somewhere. Let me look at it, or a picture, so you can see the state line. Yeah, here it is right here. So when you hit the state line, a lot of people probably have already seen this. This is what you'll see. Now there's no electricity here. This is a good place. We stopped, Dad rested his ass, me to rest my feet. I saw some e-bikers come right here and stop for a minute, and you see some e-bikers. So like I said, they're open up. No one said anything to me. I've been riding it for weeks, parts of it. So that's when you're at the Georgia state line, and you have now made, I think, 10 point something miles. Let's see. I think this is my picture here. Nope, this is my 20 miles when I got to Cedar. When I got to Piedmont. It was 20 miles to get to Piedmont. And then, let's see if I got the picture. It was, you're about 10 miles, 10.4 miles, I believe, once you get to the Georgia line. And, might be this one right here. Oh, no, 22.4 is what it took me to get to Cedar Town from Piedmont. And then here's the one for sure. 10.3 miles. I was almost on it. So this is what it took just to get to the Georgia line. So you still got a good ways to go. So you just need to be careful because, like I said, stop batteries pushing it, man. There's no charging port, so just be aware. Take your cell phone. If you get better mileage out of your XR, I would take the XR and really you'd have a better sidewall on your tire too. So I'd probably go that way. Really pretty trails. Just take your time. There's no sense of rushing it. There's all these cool little bridges that goes in people's backyards. And, there's a lot of backyards you'll cross, a lot of fields, a lot of corn fields, a lot of just, farms. I mean, it's really neat. You don't know what you're going to see. I actually, there was a backyard that had this huge lake, and this, I guess that was his wife. They were back there fishing, and they just waved at me, It'd be pretty cool to have a walking trail in your backyard, and then it wouldn't be because you don't know who's walking behind your yard at that time of the night, Pretty neat stuff, though. The trail pretty much looks like this. Well, we haven't got to the Georgia side, but there's supposed to be some underground caves and stuff that you go in that the railroad track used to go under. So that'll be kind of cool. It's really pretty. Make sure you take you some water. Now, in the first part of it, when you get in Jacksonville, you go through the college. There's plenty of charge ports that I mapped out around there too. So, sorry, I've already showed that video. So there's a lot of charge ports in Jacksonville I mapped out. And you don't know who you're going to see. You're going to see people just walking for fun, people that are exercising. You'll see bikers. The trail had a lot more people on it than what I thought. You will even see, people that have disabilities that's actually on these bikes. And I guess, sorry about that. That's me nodding at people. So, you'll see a lot of that too. It's amazing. I actually got to, I think it was Jacksonville, and there was actually a bike race, and that was pretty cool. I said, hey, what are y'all standing here on the road for? And they said, oh, we got a bike race going on today. And I said, really? And I was like, I'll be dang. Wasn't on the trail, it was off the trail, but they were protected. They were at the crossroads watching, making sure everybody was not running the bikers over because they were, they wasn't watching where they were going. They were actually racing. So a lot of beautiful places. Like I said, there's a lot of rivers back towards Alabama side. It seemed like when we got into the Georgia state lines, they kind of were creeks more than rivers. So, I want to take your fishing pole or something, I think they put me in their selfie right there. I mean, you just don't know what people are doing. You'll just see all kind of random people, but just be courteous and kind. Like I said, most of these people are pretty nice. I don't even know if half of these people have even seen a one wheel. I don't know. They've advertised quite a lot here lately, so probably. But yeah, it's well shaded. So there's some more lines showing the bad spots in the road. That was awesome. I would say 90% though are tagged and the rest of them are not. So still keep your eye open. Do not go full speed. You will tear your knees up. I don't care who you are. I had never felt my knees hurt so bad. Oh man, that was rough. That was so rough. And then I'm going to show you one more video after this one, after it plays out. I mean, it's pretty, it's a pretty cool little trail. Like I said, I saw some bikers coming from Georgia, man. They were hauling. They were trying to, time themselves. That was pretty neat. But the Georgia state line, it's just so much different. I mean, it's just so much concrete. It's super nice. Yeah, man, it made me, it made me really upset with Alabama. No joke. I mean, it's like we really definitely need to spend some time and money in our trails. But yeah, when you get to the Piedmont, you'll see the Piedmont sign. Might want to take a picture at it. That's your first milestone. And there's all these cool little signs, at the bridges. They'll tell you about the Coosa River and, some of the fish that inhabit it. I mean, yeah, there's kind of cool little bit of education there. And we ran across this parking place for the trail, and it'll tell you a little bit where you're at and what's to see. I mean, there's a little bit of education there. So you just take your time and look around and see what you can find. Here's me, and there's Dad. He took the trailer. Dad will probably go with us on this trip for those who are going to come from out of state and ride. He's going to carry this trailer. Now, he can't carry everybody's stuff, but I figure he can carry a cooler, some chargers to get them off our backs, so, yeah, so he's going to help us out. I think I can ride with a backpack. It doesn't bother me, but in case something happens and you need to, take it off, we'll have a little bit of insurance. This was a cool little situation. After I passed Jacksonville's Park, I saw these little stumps, and I sat down and took a break. I think this used to be for a bridge. But you'll see a lot of kids riding their bikes that go to Jacksonville. In Jacksonville, there's the Jacksonville Community Center, and I rode around it, mapped out some charging ports that I found. So they're all on that. You're good until Piedmont. There's enough charging stations. You should be good. So if you're new, you can stop and charge. I mean, take your time. So yeah, this is another crosswalk. There's tons of these. Please look both ways before you haul tail over there, because it's not going to be good if you get ran over. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's an awesome trail. It's the longest paved trail in America. That's amazing. It's right here behind my backyard, right, basically. I live right next to Piedmont, so it's really neat, man. You should definitely, I'll keep everything up to date, and, once we're done with this, we'll have all the charging ports marked. And there was somebody that come from Georgia that's already mapped some of the charging ports. Now, I can't tell you that's all of them, but he's mapped out enough where we'll be safe, So that's the longest stretch to get through. So, I'm trying to make this where people can do it solo if they want to. They can come down here and take a trip. I think in Rockmart or Dallas, Georgia, there's a hotel in Dallas, Georgia that's real cheap. It's like a little bit over $100 a night. That'd be a good place to stop. And you rode more than half the trail. You won't be you'll be beat up the next day, but I mean, you won't have so much to ride. And that way, when you get to Atlanta, if you want to call it the Flow of the Aliens, go ride with them. So, yeah, it's going to be easy after the second day. It'll be city. Won't be so much country land to see. But yeah, sorry it took me so long to get this video, and I apologize. But I just had a lot going on. I'm not sure about the dates yet. We're kind of checking out the weather. I know one of my buddies is having his own thing down in October, so we'll see. We'll see what we can get into. But until next time, I'll keep you updated on any other information I got. Next time, we'll talk about it, and we'll kind of go from there. So, load on, my friends, and I'll let you know next time.